We have a lot of flooding or tsunami warnings, though, on all the islands. We also had a fake North Korean missile warning once.
That was crazy.
Yeah, they told us that we were getting bombed by North Korea. And, a lot of people panicked, but I was asleep and my parents never woke me up. And then afterwards, I woke up and, I found out all of this happened and I had slept through it. And I was like, why didn't you tell me, mother and father? And they said, well, in Hawaii, there's nowhere to go. We don't have anything to, hide in. So if you're going to die, you might as well die peacefully. And,
True, they probably didn't want to scare you.
Yeah, so in a way, I understand. But, also, I can't believe I slept through that. That's crazy.
Welcome to English for NSYSU, the English language podcast for you. Today's episode is a part of Tea Time Talks, a mini-series where we, your hosts, discuss the good, the bad, and the simply surprising parts of living abroad in Taiwan as Americans, all while drinking a cup of tea. Ladies, what are we drinking today?
All right, today I have one of my favorite drinks. It's a Yakult green tea.
Ooh, nice.
I have sencha, jiancha, I think in Chinese, and apparently it's also sencha in English. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Nice, sounds delicious. I have a cup of green tea once again. What kind of tea? I don't know.
Green.
Yes, green tea, but what kind of green tea? I don't know. Now we're going to introduce our hosts. Introducing someone whose name starts with a K and not a C, and boy, she doesn't let you forget it. Coco Tamai!
C is a dog name. K
No,
is
it's
a human
not.
name.
That's mean.
Now introducing someone who, in her spare time, casually plays the classic Chinese instrument, the erhu. Savannah Ely. How's that going?
Great. I mean, we had to stop lessons for this semester, unfortunately, but I'll always remember. It's always in my heart.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. And then I'm your third host, Lindsay Ryan. I'll clap for myself, too.
Where's the fun fact?
Yeah.
Can I do
ride
one?
a unicycle.
Yeah.
If you knew me well enough, you'd know I actually can't ride that unicycle.
Owns a unicycle that she keeps saying she'll learn how to ride.
And I cannot ride it. A unicycle is like a bike with one wheel.
She's training to become a clown.
There's a man that rides it with a water bottle on his head around campus, if you see him around.
Yes.
The unicycle man.
He's my...
Lindsay hates him.
Lindsay really hates him.
He's my enemy because I want
Because
to be
she's
him
jealous.
so bad. I want what he has. So today we're talking about our hometowns back in the U.S. And guys, we're all Americans. America's pretty much the same wherever you go, right? It's all the same.
Boo.
Okay,
Not even close.
So give me a rundown. Where are you from? And give me a summary of quick facts. I don't know. What is it like where you're from?
Quick facts. Yeah, I'm from a city outside of Chicago, but I just say Chicago because it's easier. Great city, best city in the U.S. It has great weather. There's a lot to do. It's a cultural center, like so many different kinds of people there. Yeah, I love it. I truly think it is a great city.
Nice. Okay, we have one Chicagoan.
Yeah.
Is that what you call yourselves?
Yes, Chicagoan.
Chicagoan. Yeah, Coco, what about you?
Coco with a K is from Honolulu, Hawaii, the real best city in America. Where is Hawaii, you might ask? It is the most isolated, populated landmass in the world. We're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And a lot of people don't know that we're a part of America because we used to be an independent kingdom and then we got taken over. Boo! Hawaii is a set of 8 different islands, and I'm from the island of Oahu, which is the main island. And I'm from the capital, Honolulu. What's in Honolulu? Beaches, tourists, lots of Asian stuff, lots of Hawaiian stuff. Some cool mountains, fish. Very exciting.
That is a good list. Makes me want to go. So one Hawaiian.
Not a Hawaiian.
One.
Do you remember what people from Hawaii are called,
Pop quiz.
Lindsay? I taught you at the beginning of this year.
I know, I forgot.
Ooh, for people listening, if you call someone a Hawaiian, that means that they are native Hawaiian. Like their ancestors are from Hawaii. They're indigenous, one might say. So I am not indigenous. I am Asian, which you can't tell because you can't see me. So because I'm Asian, but I'm from Hawaii, I am a local or a
Local,
resident,
a
or in
local.
Hawaiian, a kama'aina.
Whew, sorry about that. We have one Hawaiian local, one Chicagoan, and then I am from a city called Atlanta in a state called Georgia, and this is in the south part of the United States. So I guess the South is known for being really hot. We're known for really good food. People are really, we have a really strong accent sometimes too, which is kind of funny. So together I'm from Atlanta, Chicago, Hawaii. We kind of make a triangle of the United States. We're all as far away from each other as we can possibly be, almost.
True.
So I think we have a good variety of experience here today. So we can speak for the entire United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
I think we have that right. Okay, great. Okay, so I guess we can start. How do other people from the U.S. view your city? Do you have any stereotypes about your city or your town, even your region? What do people say about it?
I feel like we should ask the people who are not from there. Like, what do we think
Oh,
about
good idea.
What is our
Coco.
stereotype about the South? And does Lindsay match the Southern stereotype?
I think so. I feel like you got the accent. You have a
What?
very...
She doesn't have that strong of an accent, though. She can
I
do a
can
really good fake one, though. Can we hear it?
Well, here's the thing about the accent is it's really not that good. But if you do it to people who don't really have an accent, I feel like they can't tell. Because I don't
can't
think I
tell.
actually have a good accent. But then I'll talk to even my sister, she has an accent. She has made herself have a Southern accent. And I feel like I sound like her. But maybe she sounds like a fake. I don't know. We'll
I
never
feel
know.
like that it also comes with being an English teacher. You kind of lose the way that you used to talk to people sometimes. But I think sometimes I can definitely hear, like, you're from the South.
Ooh.
There are twangs. one might say.
Twangs.
I feel like you have a lot of, like, Southern interests. I don't know. You talk about, like
cowboy
horses,
hats and
farms.
farms.
Yeah, farms. Like when you
And
talk about your
cows.
like family with like the cow that was named after you, I'm like, wow,
That
would
is my
never
most
happen.
Southern story. Well, let's start at the beginning. What are Southern people known for in the U.S.? What's the
Cows.
stereotype?
Cowboys, like country music, guitars, big, hearty, heavy meals.
Yeah, sort of like more rural, I guess. Like
Yeah,
you live in a farm.
countryside.
Yeah. I feel like there's a common story that people will say where people will say, oh, people in the South are so nice. But people from the South know that Southern people aren't that nice. They just are good at being fake nice. So they'll say like if you hear a Southern woman say, bless her heart, that means like, that's like the dirtiest insult
Yeah.
you can give somebody. That's like, bless her heart. She just can't find her way. That means she's so stupid, she doesn't know what she's doing. Or if someone says, I have a prayer request, that means like, I want to gossip. I have a prayer request. My neighbor, Celia, y'all know Celia, she told me her husband has been out of the house a lot lately on business trips. And you're just like, watching this happen like, oh my gosh, like, it's just like, I don't know. There's like a certain culture of like being nice, but also gossiping about your neighbor. So anyway, but yeah, I have one story about my grandpa. He has a cow farm. And when I was born, a cow was also born the same day on my birthday. And so he named it after me. So Lindsay the person and Lindsay the cow, we're kind of connected in this weird way.
Is the cow still alive,
No, the cow is
Oh.
not still alive.
I'm so
the
sorry.
cow was eaten many years ago, and probably like 5 or 6 years.
Did you
after.
eat it?
I don't know, and I'm too afraid to ask. But I asked my grandpa. I was like, "Oh, I remember you told me this story about the cow. Where is that cow?" He's like, "We ate that cow years ago." I was like, "Whoa, okay."
Your next
Okay.
human, Lindsay.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
always a part of you.
We're really connected now. Yeah, so that's like my most stereotypical story. Okay, so what about our stereotypes about Hawaii?
What are they?
Let's see. My stereotype about Hawaii is when I picture Hawaii, I picture someone blonde, like someone who's a transplant, like from California.
Oh, I was like blonde.
Blonde
What?
is crazy.
I know.
Guys, I'm not blonde.
Yeah. What?
For the
Oh,
listeners.
no.
Oh my gosh. I'm Asian.
I've been closing my eyes the whole podcast. So shocking.
Sorry.
But yeah, I picture like someone from California who moved to Hawaii 20 years ago, and now they are really into the Hawaiian life, like living very healthy, eating
Wow.
berries.
What?
I don't
Like,
think
it's
a lot of
a
berries
very-
grow naturally.
Yeah,
in
there's no
Hawaii.
berries.
What about smoothie bowls? Is that
That
a
is California.
Yeah, I mean, we sell that. If you go to,
See, they
yeah, if you
sell
go to
them.
the chain store,
Oh.
Jamba Juice.
Oh,
Right.
We have a Jamba Juice too.
So that's
Exactly.
very different from my perspective.
Okay,
Because
you
when
go.
I think of Hawaii, one of my favorite movies was Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
So I think of, just like more like Hawaiian culture and like a lot of flowers and just like beautiful like tropical scenery. Yeah, I think, and very like kind and like nice people. That's usually what I think about. I didn't really, I guess before, I didn't know how many Asian people were in Hawaii. So after meeting Coco, I learned that.
Yay.
Sample size of one. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
She could be lying. I don't.
Yeah, I could be the only
Could just be
Asian.
Have you
Coco.
ever
All of
even been to
Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Actually, last year I convinced someone in Taiwan that we don't have electricity in Hawaii. She believed me.
Why?
Because I guess nobody knows anything about it. So if you like really insist, they're like, oh, I guess.
Wow.
Spreading false.
Yeah, we do have
narratives.
electricity in Hawaii. Fun fact. Yeah, I think we do have a lot of nice nature, flowers, beaches, mountains, as I said before.
Yeah, volcanoes.
Yeah, but only on some islands. My island does not have an active volcano. The big
I'm glad
island,
to hear
the
that.
big one, has the active volcano. I think we're pretty nice. I hope. I don't think there are that many blonde people. I'm so sorry.
Really?
Well, I think
I'm actually shocked.
She's just thinking of California.
I think I follow, like, my Instagram will show me these families, and they're all blonde. I think they're all from Utah that moved to Hawaii.
Transplant?
That's scary.
there
So,
are a lot of
That's
transplants.
really interesting.
But yeah, the main demographic in Hawaii, we have like the native population, so like indigenous people. There are a lot of Asian people, both like Asian immigrants as well as like Asian locals like me, just because Hawaii's like closer to Asia than the rest of America. We have a lot of Pacific Islander people, so people who are either immigrants or they're locals who have Pacific Islander heritage, but their heritage is from like other islands in the Pacific, like a lot of people from like the Marshall Islands, Samoa, places like that. And we also do have like white blonde people, but like, not
But they're
that
not a
much.
majority. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. I take it back. I do think California and Hawaii get mixed up in my head.
It's
That's
okay.
crazy.
We're better.
Do you think that Lilo and Stitch is a good picture into Hawaii for people who have never been there?
I've never seen Lilo and Stitch. I'm so sorry.
No, yeah, you're
I don't
asking the wrong
I
person.
don't watch a lot of movies, but Lilo and Stitch does take place on a different island
Oh.
than the one I grew up on. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm really not the right person for that.
That's okay.
I'll watch it one day.
It's on the list.
The thing that is like the cutest thing about that movie is like the beginning song and like this
Hawaiian roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
That one is sung by kids from the school in
Yes.
Hawaii. I live
So
next to that school.
cute. Wow. Because there's a scene in the movie where Lilo is in the group of kids singing, but she's not a very well-behaved person, so she gets like sent home. But like that picture of like all of these kids singing, that's like my idealistic view of Hawaii.
Oh, I have sung in a group of kids in Hawaii. Not for Lilo
Wow.
and Stitch, but
It's true. It's all true. Minus
perhaps,
the aliens.
Yeah.
Right. Can't forget that.
Well, you never know. There could be aliens in Hawaii.
That's right. If they were anywhere, they would
Probably be in Hawaii.
No one would find them.
You're right. You're right.
All right. What about Chicago?
Very strong feelings about this.
I feel like people in Chicago really care about food, Chicago hot dog, Chicago deep dish pizza. Like, there are so many famous Chicago foods.
Love deep dish. I feel like it's
Deep dish
because
is a type of pizza.
right. I feel like it's because there's so many different cultures that came and like made their staple foods in Chicago. So it's like that style is only in Chicago because of like the large groups of immigrants that came there. Yeah, and that's what I really love about Chicago is just how diverse it is. Like I grew up in even though I'm not from the city itself, but even just the surrounding areas, so many different populations like Italian, German, Polish, Mexican. There's some French people there. Obviously, there's Black and white Americans. It's just so, so, so diverse. So I get to grow up with like a lot of different foods, meeting a lot of different people. Oh, and obviously a huge Asian population as well, but not in my hometown. Like, because I'm from Chicago, and then a little bit further out in the suburbs where I live, I did not grow up with a lot of like Asian people. So I think it was like really different when I would go to Chicago, like the city itself, and seeing like, Chinatown and more like heavily populated Asian areas was like, it was kind of cool. It was like, it felt like going to another region or something like that because it wasn't really represented in the smaller suburb that I'm from.
When I think of Chicago, I also think of gangsters.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I feel really strongly about because
What?
Chicago has such a reputation for like it's so dangerous.
Oh,
like everybody has guns, and it's like you shouldn't go there because you're gonna get shot. But I just feel like that's so wrong. Because one, if you even look it up, Chicago's not even in the top 20 list of most dangerous cities in the U.S. And of course, every city is going to have dangerous areas. Like Atlanta's going to have dangerous places.
True.
I don't know, maybe Hawaii has dangerous places, but New York,
It's just the aliens.
anywhere. Yeah, the aliens in Hawaii. Like every city has their dangerous place. So I just never really... Well, I know the reason why Chicago has this rep, but I just feel like it's kind of an old way of thinking, and it scares a lot of people from coming to a really beautiful city.
There's like like in my mind, there's two Chicagos. There's like a Chicago from the 60s, 50s, and 60s where it's like Al Capone. Wasn't he from Chicago?
Yeah, Al Capone.
He's like the most famous American gangster in history, like really
Italian,
tough.
yeah.
Kind of like I feel like Taiwan has that reputation of like, you never know what's
mobsters,
going on
yeah.
under the city, Is that your accent? This is my Chicago accent. How is it?
Dana looks
pretty
like
good.
she's in pain.
But
It started off okay.
thank you very much. Is it getting
Now you
better
just
or
sound like,
worse?
what's that guy's name from Despicable Me?
Oh, Gru. Oh no.
Is Gru from Chicago?
Going to steal the moon. But anyway, it is interesting to hear you talk because there is also a modern Chicago stereotype, which is like, I think maybe there are some neighborhood, south side. The south side of Chicago has this reputation of being really dangerous, so it kind of influences how the whole city is seen.
Yeah, for sure. I think that has a lot to do with it, and definitely like other, historical reasons and things like that. But I hope people in the future stop being afraid of Chicago.
Yeah. So growing up in these three different areas, I kind of want to talk about what it's like to be a child in these three places. Like what kind of childhood did you have? And is it different from what you see people experience here in Taiwan?
Well, for me, because I live in the suburbs, so I don't live in like the big city that, you would see on TV and everything. So I feel like my childhood was, I guess, I don't want to say standard because obviously all of America is so different, but
Like stereotypical?
Stereotypical like suburban childhood. Like I'm playing with my friends in the neighborhood, like running around on the playground or, riding bikes and stuff like that, playing soccer.
Running from the cops.
Yeah, because I'm a criminal.
Because you're from Chicago.
Right.
Where all the criminals are. No, I'm just kidding.
But like, yeah. Or the ice cream truck, very stereotypical suburb kind of life. You hear it outside and you run to go get a couple dollars from your mom and like try to chase down the ice cream truck. I feel like it's very, I had a pretty basic childhood for the most part. Yeah.
And the ice cream truck idea is something we all might think about often in Taiwan because the trash truck in Taiwan sounds just like the ice cream truck in the U.S. So in the U.S., there's a truck in the summer that will drive around and sell ice cream to children. And you're a child, so you don't have you don't have a phone usually, so you're just listening outside for the sound of the truck, and then I get ice cream. But then we come to Taiwan, and we hear a beautiful song being played by a truck, and it's a trash truck. It's not as
Very
not
different.
as delicious. Yeah, it's like, oh. I actually dread it because it means I missed the truck usually.
True,
Like,
because
I
if you hear
forgot.
the song, it's too late.
It's too late.
Yeah,
You should have already been there.
right.
Yeah, but I relate to that as well. I grew up in the suburbs, so and the suburbs in the U.S. are a little different from Taiwan. I feel like in Taiwan, you have the city, and then as you leave the city, it turns into countryside, like just rural. But in the U.S., it's more like city, and then as you go out, suburbs, and then countryside. So the suburbs is like a middle point between the countryside and the city. So you still need a car to drive around, but you still have this little community close to each other, but everyone has like a front yard, some space. Like it's kind of a weird, you don't see it in Taiwan as much. Yeah, I would do the same thing. I had neighbors I would like play with every day. And then we would have like little signals that we would send through the neighborhood. So like one signal would be one high-pitched scream. And that scream meant, where are you? I'm trying to find you. And then another one would be, we would have another signal for, I found someone else. Everyone come over here. And then a third signal would be from our mom. Our mom would yell just like in the yard, like for all the kids to come. So then when you hear your mom yell, you're like, oh, I got to go. See you
Someone
guys.
yelling.
And then you
I
run
love
through
that.
the forest to go home. Like it was very loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had a little river in our backyard. So usually we're in the river or near the river doing something that we weren't
Being
supposed to be
kids.
doing. Yeah. Usually we're digging a hole.
Right. Playing with bugs or something. Yeah.
We had a lot of funerals for bugs. So maybe we would find a bumblebee that died.
Oh my
We'd have a
gosh.
funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Coco? Do you relate to
Island
that or
life.
not really?
I've never seen an ice cream truck in Hawaii, and I've never had a bug funeral.
You're missing out.
Yeah, those are two key moments.
I
from our
guess.
mainland childhoods.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We call the regular U.S. the mainland in Hawaii. So Lindsay and Savannah are mainlanders. Yeah.
Is it like a bad word?
No,
don't
it's
want
just
to
a
call
truth.
Oh.
There are worse words for mainlanders that I will not say.
Oh, good.
Yes. But I'm from I'm still from the city, but like a quieter part of the city. So I didn't really like play with anyone at home. That's so sad. But like there weren't really other kids near me, and it was like kind of dangerous, I felt. So I did not play with my friends at home, and there were no bugs to bury.
Oh.
So instead, what did I do? I felt like I had like a pretty structured childhood. Like my first school, which I went to until 3rd grade, I went to a Japanese Buddhist school, which is because there's a lot of Asian people in Hawaii. They have like Chinese schools, they have like Japanese schools. So I went to Japanese Buddhist school, and then after school, like you know how you have cram school in Taiwan, we had Japanese school after school. So I'd go to Japanese school.
Wow. That's
Japanese
actually
school
very
after
similar.
Japanese school.
Yeah, that sounds just like Taiwan.
Yeah. So it was like very structured. I felt less playtime, more planned activities maybe. So like I'd play with my friends at school because that's where the friends are,
Yeah.
not
Right.
at my home. Yeah, but yeah, no ice cream truck, unfortunately. I'm trying to think of an equivalent, but I think like you see the ice cream truck on like TV, on like American TV shows, or like the idea of a school bus that comes to like pick you up near your house and brings you to school. Like I'm still from America, but we don't have that in Hawaii, so it like
Really?
kind of felt like a myth.
You don't
Yeah.
have school buses?
School buses are only for field trips. Like they take you from your school to wherever you want to go, and then they'll drop you off. But everyone has to get to school on their own. So yeah, I would watch TV and be like, "Is that real? Do they really have ice cream trucks?" The answer is apparently yes.
Yeah.
What
Ice
else
cream
is
trucks.
what else is an American childhood thing that kids in Taiwan just don't really. Oh, swimming pools in the U.S. A lot of families will have a swimming pool in their backyard.
What?
Oh.
So you need like a friend with a pool.
What?
So,
Because here, nobody really has backyards like
Yes,
that, unless
yeah.
you have, a lot of land.
Guys, I don't know anyone with a pool.
Really?
In their house. Yeah, that seems like
Not
a rich
in
person
their
thing.
house.
Like attached to their house, like a private pool. I've only seen like public pools at like the park.
Wow.
Oh.
yeah, in the suburbs, this might be a suburb. I think it's a suburb thing.
Yeah.
But like you will have some kids with a pool. And so
Or a
you're-
trampoline.
I had a trampoline.
Wow.
My friend had a trampoline.
Yeah, I don't know how to say trampoline in Chinese, but it's like the thing
you
you
jump on.
and then you jump higher. You know,
It's like bouncy.
yeah. In terms of childhood real estate, it's
Yeah. You were
Top.
the coolest
you're the
kid.
coolest kid. And then if it snows on the trampoline, you get like a clean layer of snow. So if you jump on the trampoline after a snowstorm, it's like a joy. I don't know how to. I don't know why it was so cool, but like you could fall straight into it, and then the snow would leave just a print of your body.
We also don't have that in Hawaii. Snow.
Yeah, you just
Got
have
a lot of that in
volcanic
Chicago.
ash.
Oh my God.
Not in our island. We have a word called fog, though. It's volcanic fog.
Oh,
And it's like fog, but it's from the volcano.
from the volcano.
It's very real.
Did you ever have like a volcano warning? And even I know you said your island doesn't have volcanoes, but maybe in the other islands.
Yeah,
What
so
do you
they
do?
have
if there's-
evacuation. So it's like if you have like a fire warning, you have to leave. We have a lot of flooding or tsunami warnings though on all the islands. We also had a fake North Korean missile warning once.
That was crazy.
Yeah, they told us that we were getting bombed by North Korea. And, a lot of people panicked, but I was asleep and my parents never woke me up. And then afterwards, I woke up and, I found out all of this happened and I had slept through it. I was like, why didn't you tell me, mother and father? And they said, well, in Hawaii, there's nowhere to go. We don't have anything to, hide in. So if you're going to die, you might as well die peacefully. And
True, they probably didn't want to scare you.
yeah, so in a way, I understand. But, also, I can't believe I slept through that. That's crazy.
The way it worked, right, was like a text got sent to
Yeah,
everyone.
the governor, I think, accidentally sent a message to everyone in the state saying there's a missile from North Korea coming and we're all gonna get hit. So people were panicking, allegedly, because I was asleep. Panicking, trying to hide their kids or whatever. And then it took a while for them to send a message saying, oh,
I think
it was
an
actually
hour.
a mistake.
Yeah.
An hour is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something
so
like that.
Somebody
like-
got fired from that.
Yeah.
I hope so.
In Taiwan, that kind of happened last
Oh
year.
yeah,
Do you
last
remember
year.
Yeah.
Only in the English version of the
Right.
text, though, because everyone got a text warning,
Missile.
in the area, missile incoming.
Yeah.
is what the English said, but in Chinese it said satellite in the area,
Two very
satellite
different things.
incoming. So
Right.
I read it on my phone and I made peace with God. I was like, this is it.
And it was crazy
I'm
because
leaving.
none of my teachers were moving.
Yeah,
I showed it to my coworker
Yes.
and I was like what do we do? And he was like, oh yeah, that happens. I was
No
like,
problem.
What
You're
are
like,
you-
are you reading the same thing I'm reading?
Apparently not.
That totally, because I had the same thing happen. And
Mm-hmm.
now looking back, I'm like, that's why they weren't reacting.
Yeah.
Because they were reading satellite.
Yeah. Funny mix up.
Yeah.
Well, not that funny,
Scary
but
But scary. There was another time when I thought we were getting attacked, which was my school had an announcement go to all the classrooms. And my Chinese, not very good. So the principal or whoever was making an announcement, blah, 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 blah. And all the students stand up and quickly run outside. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to die. This is so, because we're right next to a military base. I was like, they're trying to bomb the base. This is it, and I really made peace again with God for the second time. I was like, all right, this is my time to die, and I'm fine with that. And then my teacher was like, Lindsay, what are you doing? I was like, just I'm scared. And she
saying
was like,
my goodbyes.
she was like, they're just out practicing for the sports day dance. They were dancing to Queen Card by G Idol. And I was like, oh, it was a school-wide rehearsal.
Very serious stuff.
Yeah. I look outside and all my kids are dancing their hearts out. It's
Well,
this is different
it's
than
better
I thought.
than
Yeah, you're
better
still
than what you thought
alive.
it was.
Exactly. Okay, so as our closing question today, would you move back to your hometown?
My hometown specifically, no. Like the suburban area, no. Because I feel like there's really not, unless I'm fully just settling down, like having a family. Like I feel like my hometown is very plain. Like this is where you can raise your kids.
Small town
Yeah.
vibe.
Like it's still a very much like large city, but in terms of things to do or like opportunities, I wouldn't go there because, yeah, like I said, it's usually a place where you go when you're already settled and like you just want to raise your family and like, you know, do those kinds of things. But Chicago itself, like the city, definitely. I think that's pretty high in my list of places I want to live in the future.
Yeah, Coco, what about you?
Not for the next like 40 years. Realistically, again, Hawaii's really expensive and I don't have money to live there. Like my parents don't want me to live with them, which is maybe like a very American concept. They're like, you're an adult, you know, go find your own place to live. But like I can't pay rent in Hawaii, and like even like food is probably like 2 times the price of like some other places in the American mainland. But salaries for jobs are not that high and there's not a lot of jobs there. So I think realistically, like I would be very poor if I lived in Hawaii, where I could be not poor if I lived somewhere else.
Right.
So maybe once I'm like really rich, which is my dream, I want to be a really rich person. Once I'm really rich, maybe I can move back to Hawaii and then I can be one of those really rich people that like everyone thinks lives in Hawaii, you know? Like I can
the
have my own
stereotype.
pool.
Yeah.
And like live in like a really fancy beach house. But until then, like I don't even go back that often. Like since college, I went away to the mainland. My sister and I maybe went home once a year because it's so expensive. It'll have to wait until I'm rich. But then sure.
Okay, great. And then for me, I think probably same answer as Savannah. Not back to my actual hometown, but the city near my hometown, definitely. Atlanta, the city, sure. Yeah, but living in Taiwan, I think, has probably impacted all 3 of us in terms of what we expect out of a city.
Yeah.
Like the cities here are just so well organized, especially Kaohsiung.
So convenient.
Yeah, love Kaohsiung.
Yeah.
Kaohsiung number 1.
Kaohsiung number 1. That's what they say.
Jiayi number 1.
Okay.
She left Jai to come to Kaohsiung, guys.
Yeah,
She's a liar.
don't listen to her.
It was
She
because of the job.
abandoned them.
It was because of the job.
That's it for today. So thanks for joining us here at Tea Time Talks. If you liked our podcast, please leave us a like. And if you have a question for us or even a topic that you want us to cover next time, leave us a comment and we'll read it. Okay, until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.